Hello, hola, and buenas, buenas. Welcome back to Laguna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. On tonight's episode, we'll be reacting to the LA Galaxy's 3-1 soccer lesson they got taught by the last place team in the conference, Sporting Kansas City, who looked anything but in the win. We'll break down where the Galaxy fell short, what we can learn from the loss, and try to find any silver linings from a dismal match. We'll be joined by Lobbying Scorchers Ari Liljenwalll, who will be here to help us preview the Galaxy's next away adventure, a trip to Seattle to face off with the Sounders. We'll also bring you an MLS roundup and ring in the All-Star Game news. Plus, a G has a return timetable from injury. All of that and more coming up on Laguna Galaxiana. DJ, spin that track. G's up.
Yeah, let's get it started with a new year, new me. Una Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6 stars on the jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vanney when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que es tan bilingüe que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. Es Laguna Galaxiana, 4th season, Rob Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Welcome, my G's, back to Laguna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans and for all you soccer fans out there in the world. But let's be honest, right now, LA Galaxy fans, I know you need the love more than most right now because what transpired yesterday, what happened yesterday, what you were forced to watch yesterday was a travesty and quite frankly inexcusable. But we'll get into all that. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halone. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And of course, since I'm here, you know, my co-host is here as usual. El Gitano de Perdido. That's what they call him out there on the streets of the other land. El Papa de Natita. And El Yerno Guapo. Ananda Kirana. Papa, it's back to sad 4 hours. I mean, I don't know what to say, but, you know, other than we will get through it together.
Yeah, another sad 2 hours. We had a mini therapy session yesterday with the instant reaction. So thank you guys again. For those of you that did join, hopefully you enjoyed that as well as the live presser. You got our raw, unfiltered thoughts. And, you know, I was speechless for the first 5 minutes because I didn't know what I just watched. But now a day after, Papa, we, you know, have to stare this embarrassing loss in the face. And I think I just spilled the beans on my one-word reaction, which I'm going to get to right about now, which is embarrassing. I don't know how else to describe it. Like that was the feeling that I had. I was embarrassed to like set up the stream and come online and do the instant reaction. Cause like, how do I defend that? Like, what the hell do I say about the, you know, complete crap on a plate that I just watched? Right. For, you know, the better part of 93 minutes. So, but it is what it is. This team puts Galaxy fans and us that support the team in some form or some way, or help cover the team. And, you know, it puts us, they put us through the ringer. So, but embarrassing is probably my reaction to that. I felt embarrassed, and I'm sure a lot of Galaxy fans did as well.
I don't even remember what I gave you yesterday for a one-word reaction. Did I do it?
We didn't do it. Well, we don't do them because we want to save it for the next day.
Yeah. Man, I honestly can I be frank with you and you be George? No, I'm just playing. No, the less said the better about this game, man. Like it's one of those that it was just like supremely disappointing, and that's not even my one word. It's just like, I actually did think about this a little bit, but like not a one word reaction. Like all day I've been thinking about like, okay, if I do give like a one-word reaction, it would just be like some kind of adjective, like embarrassing, droll, dress, underwhelming, outworked, like, you know, just take a pick. So I started thinking about like if the LA Galaxy was a movie or a song, like what would they be, right? And honestly, I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, man, because I just want to forget some of these games that they play. I said it, I think, yesterday on the instant reaction. The Galaxy's ceiling is being able to play with and beat anybody in the league, and their bottom is losing to the last place team in the Western Conference, which they just did. So yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and then Hard Times by Ray Charles, if it was a song. I
got if to stick it on the movie theme, I got a word for you. This is a good one for you. Matrix. You know why? Because you got to flash that red light, and that's it. Makes you forget. That's what you want to do right now. Is like,
wait, isn't that Men in Black?
Or sorry, Matrix, Men in Black, MIB. That's right.
Okay, yeah. I was like, wait a second, like, did I get my movies?
I had my M's mixed up, but yes, you were correct.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Ask many Galaxy fans will probably want to go ahead and get in front of that red light, but we'll get into all of it. We got into some of it yesterday. If you didn't get to our instant reaction, we'll go ahead and give you an abridged version of a reaction today, because it's again, this one was painful. The less we say about it, the better. And we actually do got a good guest for our preview against Seattle coming up on the weekend. So again, we have a good guest, so we're going to zip through this reaction and shout outs. And then Ananda, you also have some stuff to say before we get into it all.
I do, because the Galaxy are not great, but hopefully we're great for you guys, and hopefully you guys continue to support us along our journey to 900 subs. So guys, if you have not yet,
that's an incredible segue. Good job.
Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so that you know when amazing guests just like Mr. Ari, who we had on last year, was amazing. Sounders at Heart, I think one of the best, not even Seattle publications, but nationally. They do a lot of really good work there. So shout out Jeremiah, shout out Parce Nico, shout out Ari, all those boys.
Homie Nico, incredible guy.
Yeah. So, but if you do want to support us, go ahead and, like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. When on your way in, on your way out, just do it now so you don't forget. It takes you 2 seconds and it's free of charge. So guys, go ahead and hit that like button. That way,
it is free of charge.
Yeah,
it is free of charge. Go ahead and hit it up.
2 seconds of your time.
And what a thrill.
And of course, you can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. If you think my takes are super weird, it's okay. The block button's there. That's why I give the option. Give you one of the 3 options.
I blocked him a couple times.
It's a multiple choice test in this regard. So go ahead and do that. And of course, you can follow us on all of our socials at Lacuna Galaxiana. The name of the show, pretty simple there. And guys, breaking news: Rob has discovered our Blue Sky. So yes, we are on Blue Sky because he commented on it.
True.
I was like,
it's true.
And he discovered it. So, whoop-de-freaking-do. We have a Blue Sky. So if you guys want to check out our content there, go ahead. It's mostly just right now, Minuto de la Mañana is trying to figure out what the heck is going on at Blue Sky. So more to come there, but we definitely have a presence on Blue Sky now. En papá, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo. The Sad Few Hours, unfortunately. It's going to be the 5th time this season, if I'm not mistaken. So I have my record right. But let's get rolling, man, because I think I think since we did the instant reaction yesterday, and that was like really hard to do, this full reaction is probably going to be harder. So the quicker we get it, the more we forget about it, and we move on to the next game, which is going to be a doozy.
Move on. All right. Well, guys, I don't know if Ananda told you, because I was just really sad about the loss yesterday, and I zoned out for a second. But if you got something to get off your chest, the super chats are there. Go ahead and let us know what you're thinking about everything right now. Go ahead and express those feelings. If you got something in your heart, let it out. Anyway, here are some shout outs. All-Star voting is open at the moment. This one is, of course, going to be the MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX All-Stars, and that'll be happening on Wednesday, July 29th in Charlotte. Online voting happens as of now, and it goes through Thursday, May 21st at 11:59 p.m. the voting is 1/3 fans, 1/3 players, 1/3 media, and a total of 26 players will be selected for the All-Star game. And some of these are vanity picks by the Don Garber. 2 of them. 13 picks are selected by Dean Smith, who is Charlotte's manager, and 11 players are the first 11 rather are chosen and voted in. So every year, Galaxy fans go through this campaign to have Galaxy players not chosen. Do what you will, guys. I actually think there's a certain prestige in having a couple All-Stars myself, but I do understand the rationale by the thinking. Anyway, moving right along. It is now true, man. I mean, we've talked about this a couple times already on this podcast, but El Paso signs Christopher Fernandez, who is the actor who plays the popular character Daniel Rojas in Ted Lasso. He's been signed to a professional contract in real life by El Paso Locomotive FC. He's 35, so it's, I mean, it looks like Ananda, some of our G's that are in their 30s can still get on the game. I mean, the dream is still there. Look at Christopher Fernandez. He's out there. The quote here is, football has always been a huge part of my life and identity, and no matter where life has taken me, the dream of competing professionally never truly left my heart. I'm grateful to El Paso Locomotive FC, the club, coach, and staff, and especially my teammates for opening the doors and giving me the opportunity to compete from day one. He got signed after he went on trial. I mean, we reported on this during the CVI, how he was with USL teams and actually trialed with a couple of MLS teams. He actually, Ananda, I don't know about this, but and doing research for this, I found out that he actually played when he was younger, but he suffered a really grievous injury at the age of 15. So imagine being 15, stepping away from the game and coming back now. Just a really incredible story. Good luck to him. I mean, I don't think it's a kind of like a vanity signing. I mean, a really well thought of analyst in USL, John Morrissey, was interviewed by The Athletic, and he said that he could be in line to play some real minutes for El Paso, and yeah, that there's a publicity aspect, but he's going to be an equal contributor in more ways than one. Their next game, Locomotive FC's, that is against my hometown team, AV Alta FC, on May 27th. Who knows if Christopher Fernandez makes his debut. And as one man settles into his team, a man departs from his team. James Rodriguez is leaving Minnesota after just 6 appearances and 2 starts. James is leaving. Minnesota announced just yesterday that they would be releasing James Rodriguez to go to the Colombian national team to get ready for the World Cup. But in case you're thinking, he was a destruction or anything like that, James, by all reports, was a model teammate. Anthony Markinich, one of his teammates there, said he's amazing, a great character, talks to everyone. He's a great locker room guy who helps the younger guys. We're all going to miss him. So I don't know if what this says about MLS, about the quality of MLS, or if this is just like a personal James thing. But yeah, Ananda, just 6 appearances, 2 starts in his time in MLS. He had 2 assists and no goals in 195 minutes. His last game was against the Rapids just the other day. Well, thank you for your service, James. I know people never thought they would see James in MLS or in a Minnesota jersey. It was crazy when he walked by me at the CVI, and I was like, hey, that's James. I remember that banger he scored in the 2014 World Cup. Man, how time flies. And how the money flies, apparently, in MLS, because the MLS PA spring salary guide just dropped yesterday. And here's what we found out per our friend Tom Boger. Top and bottom spending teams here in the league are pretty much what you would expect. Inter Miami, LAFC, and Atlanta United head up the list. Of course, Inter Miami outspending everybody by a lot, $54.6 million. And then at the bottom, you have Montreal, Sporting KC, and Philadelphia. Philadelphia Union spending a paltry $11.7 million here on a payroll. Miami spending about $20 million more than LAFC, who are the second highest spenders. And I mean, Leo Messi by himself makes more than all but two MLS teams, guys. So, you know, he makes more than the Philadelphia Union and Sporting Kansas City put together. I mean, just to give you a reference of ¿qué adinerado es este Leo Messi? How much plata se está metiendo? The guy's getting paid. He's getting the bag for sure. Of course, Sonny is also getting well paid. 11.2, that is. Rodrigo De Paul, 9.7. Thomas Mueller, 5.5. If you guys remember last year, they joined the league as non-DP deals, and then they are now converted into DPs this year. And it's a crazy disparity because you have Leo Messi at 28.3 million, and then you have several MLS players making the league minimum of $88,025. I wonder why they threw in the extra $25, Ananda. I mean, good on them, but that's just seems to be a weird number. Maybe like 88.1 or 88 flat, but like 88.25. That's just weird. Anyway, so that was kind of what we learned about the league. Thank you to Tommy for putting that out. And then in regard to team news, what we learned was that the Galaxy ranked 4th by expenditure in the league. They're spending 26.4 million at the moment. And if you break this down, that's 15.668 million spent on DPs, which is 59% of their payroll. 7% is spent on U22s. There's 3 U22 players, and that comes to 1.834 million. There's 4 TAM players representing 15% of the salary. That's 3 million, 3.898 to be exact. Homegrowns are 4 players, 2%, and that's under $1 million. That's actually 557K. And then others represents 17% of the roster. That's 4.472. So if you really break this down, Ananda, to where the Galaxy are, and this was before yesterday's game dropped. I haven't readjusted the math here, but the Galaxy before yesterday's game, before yesterday's loss, they were spending 1.65 million per point. Every point the Galaxy picked up, that's a mill, baby. Lil Wayne would be proud. A milli, baby. 1.65 every point they picked up, and it's probably even more now with the loss. So anyway, looking at some of these Galaxy players' salaries, the new players that have come in, Jakob Glesnes is the highest paid at 1.2. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That's Klauss at 2.9. Then it's Jakob Glesnes at 1.2. Then we have the Real Hack Tua, Justin Hack, 810K, and Eric Tommy at 706K. And of course, the Galaxy is still the highest player despite not playing for a couple seasons, as Ricky Puig, who is making 5.8 million this year. That's a nice chunk of change representing your roster right there. And of course, just Painso's in second place at 4.5. We already talked about Klauss at 2.9, and Gabriel Pecky is right there at 2.4. Harbor Miller, representing real value for money, he's making the league minimum at $88,025. I gotta ask him sometime, like, Harbor, what's up with that extra $25, man? So now that we've put all the Galaxy's business out there, Klauss, how much money he's making and stuff like that, we get to talk about his return to the field here. The Galaxy did announce that Klauss was placed on the injured list, and what this allows the Galaxy to do is a couple of things, and we'll break this down here. With this short-term designation, it means that for sure Klauss will miss the Galaxy's next 6 games. Of course, they only have 2 more before the World Cup break, and then they have 4 more after that. So he'll be re-eligible for the Galaxy's match against FC Dallas on August 1st. And, this is after the successful ligament repair that Klauss underwent on his left foot. He is expected to make a full recovery. From what Greg said in that press conference when we spoke about it, it was actually better that he got surgery and better for his recovery that he did. So again, why would they do this? So per MLS rules, a player is expected to miss 6 or more regular season matches due to injury, may be placed on the injured list, and he must sit out all 6 games while remaining ineligible. But if he is placed on the injured list, the team can receive an open roster spot, and if the team occupies an international slot, the replacement player can also be an international player. How do you like the apples, Zananda? Our replacement player needs a replacement player. That's just tough breaks, right? Yeah, exactly. Good times, right? Excuse me while I wet my whistle a little bit, guys. I'm getting a little bit parched here. But we did already let you know that VCFC's next game is El Traficito against LASC2 on Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m. That'll be at Rawlinson Stadium at USC. Go ahead and pull up. I'm sure the boys would love it and appreciate it. And now we are ready for our MLS roundup. Ananda, are you ready?
Are you ready? Dale, hit it.
That was a funny voice. I've never heard you make. That was a good one. All right, here it is, your MLS roundup for Matchday 13. NYCFC beat Charlotte on the road 1-0 behind a Nicolas Fernandez goal. Rafael Navajo sent James Rodriguez packing with the only goal in Colorado's 1-0 away win over Minnesota. Montreal and Portland tied at 2 in Montreal. Chicago beat DC United 3-1 on the road with Hugo Cupier scoring again. Inter Miami beat Cincinnati 5-3 away in a goal fest with Messi getting a brace to lead the way. Nashville blanked New England 3-0 on the road. Martin Ojeda's brace powered Orlando to a 4-3 win over Philadelphia. New York Red Bulls dispatched Columbus 3-2 at home, courtesy of a Julian Hall hat trick, banger of a hat trick. Vancouver beat Dallas on the road by the same scoreline, with Sebastian Berhalter grabbing 2 goals in the win to send the Whitecaps top of the Western table. St. Louis City beat LAFC 2-1 at home. A Xavier Gozo brace saw RSL pass visiting Houston 3-0. San Diego got back on the dubs with the 5-0 win over Austin, breaking out in a big way. And the Galaxy's next opponent, the Seattle Sounders, beat San Jose 3-2 at home. And former G, Preston Judd, scored again. And your league leaders are still Nashville. And now for the first time is Vancouver in the West. Is that true, Nada?
Is it true? I think so. Like, I don't even know. Yeah, it's true. Level on points, but up on goal difference. So level on points is San Jose. They also have 1 game less played. So we got to take in all these into things. Like Seattle's in 3rd, but they've played 2 games less than mostly everyone. So
exactly. We'll talk to Ari about that. So guys, again, we did an instant reaction yesterday. So we've already talked about this lineup and what the Galaxy trotted out here. I mean, Cuevas kept the spot. Royce started in the midfield, which we debated on very heavily. Ananda got his way in that 4-1-4-1 formation. Sorio was the lone defensive midfielder, and honestly, he didn't really look up to it. Like we said, they just didn't have that intensity at all. Greg said it. We said it yesterday. And you can tell from the jump, they had a quick moment where they could have had something and they just let it slip. And they, like I said yesterday, they made this Sporting Kansas City team look like prime 2011 Barca. And it was quite embarrassing. To be a fly on the wall when Greg was talking to the team. But if you were lucky enough not to see it, the Galaxy did lose to Sporting Kansas City, the last team in the Western Conference, 2-1 yesterday. Sporting Kansas City jumped out to a 2-0 halftime lead, and really there was this feeling a couple times this year when the Galaxy fell behind that they would maybe get something back. I didn't feel that at all yesterday. There was just kind of a sense of impending doom, and these were self-inflicted mistakes again. The first one was a defensive mistake by Cerrillo and Sporting Kansas City. Calvin Harris pulls it across goal for Capita, and he scores, make it 1-0 in the 32nd minute. Dayon gets the second after just a routine defensive, what should have been a routine defensive clearance. It's botched by Amiro who falls, and then I guess Jakob gets caught in two minds on whether to cover the space and cover the runner or cover Dayon, and Dayon just goes in and chips JT Marcinkowski for the 2-0. Harris got on the score sheet himself through a Manu Garcia through ball to make it 3-0 for the hosts, and to claim a little bit of dignity, Gabriel Pecky would get the late consolation goal to make it 3-1. But Ananda, we've been talking all season about the Galaxy's ceiling, about their floor. Was this one of the ones that you kind of feel like they played down to SKC?
100%. I mean, we talked about it in the instant reaction, like 100%. Like, how do you? Greg said they didn't leave the hotel room, and man, like, there's so much blame to go around, and I feel like, yeah, like it's an indictment on his players, but it should be a self-indictment too, Papa. Like, I jumped on a pod after we hopped off. Shout out the guys in Soccer in 60, and I said, and they agreed with me. There is a level of preparedness. Like, you don't expect that from a tenured coach, from such an experienced coach. Yes, it's three road games in 7 days, but how long has Greg has been in this league? I'm sure he's seen every permutation, every situation come to fruition. And so, like, the lack of preparedness, yes, it's the players, but it's also the guy preparing them and the coaching staff. They've got to take some of the blame, if not most of it, because, like, they're his players and he puts a lot of faith in them. So, yeah, man, but they absolutely played down the level of competition. And this is the thing that frustrates fans is, the trap game, Juju, like, we kind of joke about it, but every time it happens, like, it literally happens. So for this weekend's game, I'm going to put the reverse Juju out there when we talk to ours. So there you go. How about that?
Oh, dang.
Reverse trap game, Juju.
Well, I did bring up the fact that it might be a trap game. You
did, rightly so.
And honestly, like, this Judge Sophie brought up, that the Sporting Kansas City might be the Galaxy's bogey team, and blood. Dayon might be disinvited to the carne asada now because he celebrated the goal quite vociferously there, and not only that, but then he was on MLS After Dark or whatever they call it, and he was like, "Can we play the Galaxy every week?" And I was like, damn, that's sick on a national stage, bro.
That's sad, but that's him.
That's burning
him.
That is him, and it's the truth, and it's unfortunate, but it is the truth. Yeah, truth hurts for sure. All right, it was again, we covered this match to an extent yesterday, and in the instant reaction, and in an effort to get to the real reason we're all here, which is Ari. We're going to zip through a couple of silver linings that happened in this match. Of course, Mateus Nascimento returned to the pitch after several matches out, 9 to be exact. And then Eric Tommy made his return to Sporting Kansas City. Of course, the Galaxy, this is a useless step, but they extended their scoring streak to 22 consecutive matches. And, of course, we already heard the news about Klauss being placed on the injured reserve. Ananda, do you have a one key stat that kind of dictated what the downfall was here?
I do, Baba, and it leads into or connects with our theme that we've been talking about the past 2 nights, which is the Galaxy just weren't up for it. And the one key stat that tells me that, Baba, fouls. Funny enough, all the way in the bottom of the screen, 19 fouls for SKC to 6.
No se pusieron trucha.
Let me repeat that again. 19 fouls to 6, which means basically there was only 6 times where the Galaxy like showed some cojones and was like, you know what? I'm going to put my foot in. I'm going to try to nick the ball away.
They better not bring that weak stuff to Seattle. Seattle will feast on that.
They will get slapped there and back. And they will have their tails between their legs from Seattle to LA if that happens. And I think they know that. I think Greg's going to really drill that down. I can't see him not doing that. But it's like that just shows the lack of aggression, I guess, from the Galaxy side. And what happened to playing nasty, Papa? What happened to that? That just went away.
Well, what happened to the dirty? I thought they were Christina Aguilera now, man.
I thought they were going to play dirtier, right? That was the whole like vitriol thing. That was the whole thing. The last couple pressers, like, hey, we have to play a little dirtier. Well, that sure didn't happen last match.
Yeah, but I mean, you talked about it. Greg said they didn't leave the hotel room. I mean, he told me, the level was they weren't up to the level. They lacked intensity. They didn't leave the hotel room, right? So I mean, who's to blame for that? Is that the players? Is that Greg himself? Is that MLS schedule makers that scheduled them a midweek game? I mean, even though that a bunch of teams had midweek games as well, was it the dastardly Kansas City barbecue that made their stomachs all full for the match, and then they couldn't get up for it? I mean, what was it? Chat, let us know what you think it was.
Yeah.
What you think the culprit was, and on to, I think you're right. I mean, I think you talked about it a little bit here earlier when you were talking about soccer in 60. Shout out to all those folk. Yeah, man. I mean, this is a level of preparedness that you would not expect from these players. I mean, yeah, they got a consolation goal, but it was late. I mean, they just weren't up to it. They didn't look up to it. And damn, I mean, Sporting Kansas City was salivating. They were like, great, this is awesome. We finally get a road win or a home win, thanks to a team that is just kind of like willing to lay down, man. It's yeah, sure, like we talked about it with Greg in the post-match presser. It's a little bit because of the schedule, and they're tired and stuff like that. But the team hasn't executed. I mean, they've had plenty of chances in games and they haven't put them away. And this one, it was just simply that they couldn't execute on simple things like putting passes together. I mean, the first two goals were conceded off of just simple missed passes during a large spell of possession. We talk about it all the time. Greg's burden of possession. And yeah, I mean, like if the team isn't good enough to play Greg's preferred style, then he needs to adapt and he needs to be flexible to play what the Galaxy have actually demonstrated themselves to be the best at, which is being a transition team. I mean, yeah, again, Pecky got a goal at the end, but that was a worldie. You can't rely on that. It wasn't consistent enough. Ananda, you got a couple more stats for us?
Yeah, well, there's I think this point right here is encapsulated in this stat alone, Papa. And this is going to be interesting to see how we play Seattle, which is the Galaxy, and this is from Reddit. So shout out to whoever posted on Reddit. I don't know what the username is, but the Galaxy, when they have more than 50% possession this year, the Galaxy are 0-3-2. 0-3-2, 0 wins. Ooh. When the Galaxy have less than 50% possession, the Galaxy are 4-2-2. What does that tell you, Rob? What does that tell you? I don't need to say it.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Just make your own conclusions.
The data is there. The data is there. I don't know why they continue to persist. And I tell you about this all the time. Like, you were super happy that Greg went the 4-1-4-1, but
I was, but his players completely crapped the bed. Players let him down. Like Serio making those mistakes. I've never seen him be so sloppy on the ball, and then just the not having two pivots. Like, we used to play this 3-2-5, always having two pivots in 2024. Like, what happened to that transition defense? What happened to the defensive stability? Like, what happened? Like, so many questions, man. I'm scratching my head. Anyways.
Se marchó. Y se marchó. Yeah, it said bye-bye. It's gone. Anyway, there is one bright spot that I asked Eric Tommy about. Pecky keeps on scoring. He got another one. He got that consolation, and honestly, that's good. He needs to keep on going. He needs to keep on getting that feeling. But other than that, there was really no defending the badge for me, Ananda. I know that we kind of spoke about it. There really is not one for you. Chat, if you have some pushback, let us know. Cuneros, let us know if you think there is a defending the badge.
Yeah, the traveling away fans that had to put up with that dross. That's my defending the badge.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the fans for putting up with the roller coaster, and just the inconsistency, and honestly, now again, the reason we're all here. Let's move on from
Yeah,
that.
let's move on from that. Yeah, ridiculousness. Exactly.
Let's move on from that ridiculousness so we can hear all about how Seattle will now take 3 points from the Galaxy. So we're gonna bring on our special guest for the evening, the homie. He's back, friend of the show. You can find his work at Center at Heart and MLS.com. He's one of the hosts of the Lami Scorchers podcast. Honestly, if you're a Seattle Sounders fan, you need to be up on this podcast.
Yeah.
And even if you're just trying to like hate listen and get like info on the enemy, that's the one to do it to. I mean, like that's the one to listen to. Please welcome back to the show, El Señor Ari Liljenwalll. Welcome back, man.
What's up, guys? Good to see you. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, it's good to have you back, man.
Yes, it is lovely. I would love to say that I'm excited about this game, but I think we all know how it's gonna go. So you're just gonna kind of like have to, tell us all about the pain and misery that's on our way. But before we get there,
do we just get to the predictions now? Just like mic drop. Ari like gives his prediction. Galaxy get thumped. All right, guys. See you later. Have a good night.
Yeah, it's like, all right. That was good. Thank you, Ari. That was a good.
That was a nice 90 minutes. Yeah.
Hey, I know better than to predict an easy win in MLS. You can go into these games thinking that you've got the matchup in your favor, and then Seattle played Sporting KC a couple weeks ago too. And they drew 1-1, which it wasn't as bad as an L, but I was still going into that game thinking it was an easy W, and it was not.
Yeah,
I mean you're very right. Anything can happen, and like we've said earlier on the show, the Galaxy tends to play to their competition, and Seattle is traditionally a team that brings out some good in them, some fight in them. So hopefully that's what we'll see. But really quick, let's talk about Seattle, and more accurately, like just what an exciting time it is, Ari, to be working in soccer, to be covering soccer in this country, man. What are your big World Cup plans for the upcoming tournament, or what do you got going on for that?
Well, we'll see if I can actually get credentialed for any of the games. I guess that's still a TBD situation, whether I'm going to be able to get credentialed through MLS soccer or some other means. So I'm hoping I get to actually cover a couple of the games as media. But I'll be honestly, the vibe around the World Cup here is not that hype. I think a lot of people, people will feel left out from it, I think. And it's just so expensive that regular people aren't going to be able to go. So it's just kind of a weird vibe. There's not as much hype around it as I would expect. From my perspective, I'm still excited for it to get here, and I think once the games actually start, the excitement will pick up a little bit more. But as it stands right now, there's not like as much buzz around it as I would have thought.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just hearing some stuff, like some buzz around it here in Los Angeles, but previous to that, nothing really. And it's like you say, I mean, just the prices are so inaccessible. I mean, we spoke to Landon Donovan, Blood, and he was like, I gotta pay too. And he's like, yeah, like I know how expensive it is. And we're like, dang, not even Landon's getting tickets. Like, can you believe that?
The prices are so ridiculous that I can't even take it seriously. Like, you see some of this stuff and you're like, okay, well, we'll see how many people go to that. Good luck to you guys with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've talked about it. This is the one I love railing against, that tickets for SoFi are astronomical for the first USA game. Everybody knows that. But then parking, Ari, just parking itself is sitting at like $200 to $300, and you're like not even within like just 5-minute walking distance. There's like a mile away from the stadium, dog. Like, I was like, I mean, somebody's making money on this. I think we know who it is. His name is FIFA. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about Seattle Sounders now. Usually the vibe every year around Seattle is that they start slow, they pick up steam, and then they hit their stride right around the playoffs. This year, however, they're in third early what's going on around there? There's a couple of key injuries, but they're still all up in the table, and they have two games in hand. What's going right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a really good start to the season. It hasn't been perfect. I think the way they got eliminated from CONCACAF Champions Cup was pretty unfortunate because I felt like they could have beat that Tigres team. That series, they ended up drawing them 3-3 on aggregate, and they got eliminated on road goals. And there was moments in that series where they could have taken it and they could have won the series. They gave up a couple of really bad set piece goals, and then in the away leg, they couldn't score. So I would say if there has been an issue with this team so far this year, it's on the attacking end. We're doing a lot of discourse about the number 9 over the last couple weeks. Jordan Morris got injured again to start the year. But no, I think you really got to credit the depth of the roster for stepping up and covering for some of the injuries that they've had. Paul Rothrock has 4 goals, and they haven't had Pedro de la Vega, their most talented designated player, at all year. He dislocated his kneecap at the end of last year, so he's not going to be back till after the World Cup. So they've done a great job of withstanding the injuries that they have had, staying productive, and also during the beginning of the season when they were rotating with CCC, pretty much every game was on the road, and they did a good job of taking wins and taking results with that road heavy part of the schedule, to where now they're getting backloaded with more of these home games where they haven't lost at home since the Club World Cup last year against PSG. So they've turned Lumen back into a fortress, and now they've got a lot more home games coming up because of how road heavy. Yeah. Which, I feel better about this game. Like the SKC game I mentioned, that was on the road, to be fair. It was still ridiculous that they did not win that game and beat that team. They had 27 shots, 9 on target, and over 3 expected goals, I believe, and still drew the game. So it was frustrating, but like their form at home right now, they're pretty hard to beat.
Look, all right, I just want you to take a step back and understand that you're talking to 2 gentlemen who cover a team who did not tie against SKC. They lost 3-1 against SKC, and they made SKC look like France right now at the World Cup. Man,
yeah, we made what's his name? Calvin. We made Calvin Harris look like prime Ronaldinho. I think it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
Was it really that? It was that one-sided? I didn't really see much of that game.
Yeah, it was consolation goal. Yeah, it was very one-sided. Yep.
It was definitely one-sided. I mentioned it, kind of in a reaction at the top of the show. Like, they've fallen behind a couple times this season. I mean, in Dallas they fell behind, and then they got something. They almost got something in Columbus and fell behind. They didn't play well in Columbus either, and they almost got something. But in this one, there was never that expectation that they would get anything. They
just came back from Atlanta. Like, they came back, they were down 1-0 and came back 2-1. So this was an absolute stinker, which is why you get comments like this. So this is all right. In case you didn't know what was going on in the Galaxy organization, I think this comment here on the screen kind of encapsulates the the sentiment.
I say this all the time, Ari. Galaxy fans wish the Galaxy was ran like Seattle.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And they are like the model of consistency. I've said it on a bunch of podcasts. And it's funny because, like I said, the usual model for Seattle is that they start slow and then they turn it on later in the season. But now that they started well, and like you said, they've managed that away heavy part of the schedule. They're at home. They're making that a fortress. What's the expectation from Sounders fans right now? I mean, are they thinking, this is our year? MLS Cup was within reach?
We've actually been talking about the supporter shield more than we usually do. Seattle's not usually really a factor for the supporter shield. Those slow starts that you mentioned sometimes make that they put you behind the 8 ball on that topic. But if you look at it right now, I mean, they're averaging over 2 points per game, which the teams that are in the shield race, that's usually where they are. But no, I mean, I definitely feel like this team was expected going into the season to be a contender and to make a play for these trophies that they're competing for. And I feel like right now they're on track to do that. It's all in front of them. They got to get a little healthier. Obviously, I think De La Vega is someone who really affects the ceiling of this team. When they play without him, they figured out how to play without him and still score goals. But there are times like in these last couple weeks, they drew Sporting KC and then they drew San Diego at home, who are not especially good either. So when you're missing your top end talent like that, you're susceptible to that. You can have these games where you put up a bunch of XG and you only end up scoring 1 goal. So I do think that their ceiling for, MLS Cup and actually winning the Supporters Shield, it might be determined by getting De La Vega back and having him be in the form that he was last year when he gets back. And if they get that version of De La Vega, I'm looking around the rest of the league right now, and especially in the West, San Jose and Vancouver are the only teams ahead of Seattle, and Seattle knocked Vancouver out of CCC, beat them 5-1 on aggregate, and they swept the Quakes this year. So, I mean, from where I sit right now, I think they have as good a chance of coming out of the West as anybody.
Yep.
Man, it's like I said at the top, if you're a Sounders fan, you need to be following this guy. You need to be listening to the podcast. Let us know really quick, man. Ari, where can the folks find you? Where can they find the podcast? Where can they find your work?
Yeah, if anyone wants to sub to the Lobbing Scorchers YouTube, that would be awesome. We're building it out over there. That's the big one that we've been pushing. But Sounder at Heart, I do writing for Sounder at Heart, and they host our show on there as well. So you can find my written stuff on there. You have to subscribe to it. But
shout out Jeremiah.
Yeah, shout out Joao for putting us on. But yeah, I would say sub into the YouTube, and then also we got Instagram and TikTok that are pretty active. So if you want to toss us a follow on there, the IG has a lot of good stuff going on.
Y'all heard? Noah. Go ahead and show these boys some love. We've had a couple of the compatriots on, and we've always had a wonderful time. Shout out to the homie Nico.
Shout out Noah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so as a writer that covers nationally, what's the perception, or what are you picking up as the perception of the Galaxy at the moment?
I feel like the perception with the Galaxy right now is that they're actually a bit of a step forward from where they were at this time last year. That's just not the highest bar of all time. Like, the start last year was it was crazy. It was like 0-14-3 or something. Like, it was like historic winless run to start the season. So to me, it seems like it's not going that poorly this year, or at least it wasn't until this last Sporting KC game, which that is a tough L. Like, that Sporting KC team is historically bad. There people are talking about them like the literal worst team in MLS history. So I was pretty miffed when Seattle drew that team. But I think that loss kind of might take away from some of the vibes of improvement from the Galaxy. But if you look at their 1.23 points per game, that's not horrendous compared to what it was last year. So it seems like there's been a step forward taken. It's just that, it was the step forward is coming from a place that was not very good. So that's sort of how I see it right now. But it seems like things are going better. I don't know if you guys would disagree, but that's,
I'm gonna leave it to chat. I'm gonna leave that one to chat.
You won 4 wins on the season. That's not like,
yeah, that's a start.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There has been progress since last season, but you're also right. Like when the bar is low, like, and you improve, like that's not still so great, right?
I mean, the Galaxy should be competing with Seattle right now, and that's where Galaxy fans expect to be. And I'm going to pick up on something that the last chatter said. Shout out eSuper. I'm going to pivot the last question with this, Ari.
Wait. Don't give them to me yet, because I seem to remember a conversation we had last time you were here, Ari, and it was at the back end of the season, so it wasn't. I think it was like 6 or 7 months ago. Yeah, we were talking about Greg then, and you were kind of talking about how you you don't know if you had if you would have dispatched him, if you would have let him go, because there was something to be said about stability and something to be said about having a guy like Greg. That's kind of like Brian Schmetzer. That's like Mr. Seattle, like just synonymous with Seattle. And it's obvious that Greg has that passion, loves the Galaxy. Obviously, I don't know if that saves him with Galaxy fans. I don't think it does. But you were talking about extolling that virtue of having that stability and having that guy there that's passionate and loves the team that much. In retrospect, after the season's done and everything like that, now hindsight's 2020. But have you changed your tune, or maybe are you still sticking with the same song?
To me, it still seems like a situation that is more to do with the roster than the coach, at least, and that's how I see it from the outside. And I do think too, a lot of what I was hedging on was the Greg Vanney track record. This guy's been very successful in MLS. Won MLS Cup with Toronto FC. Won MLS Cup with the Galaxy. So the guy can get it done in the league. We know that. I will say, like, judging how this start of the season has gone, I'm starting to question a little more, whether he can get the ceiling back to what it was. But I don't know. I feel like my co-host Noah, he has a vendetta against Will Kuntz, which I don't share.
Really?
Yeah, like a very strong vendetta against Will Kuntz.
You got to tell us more. Like, what are some of the hits?
Well, what was
I personally love Will. I feel like he's brilliant. Like he's a really nice guy as well.
We were huge Galaxy heads in 2024, that year where the attack was the triple P's and Dejan Joveljic. We loved watching that team. That team's offense was incredible. But I guess Noah feels like the roster in the aftermath of the MLS Cup win was pretty drastically mismanaged by the general manager. I tend to think that was a situation where he was putting all his chips in. He was basically selling out for the one ring and then paying the consequences later. But I do think there is things to critique as far as, could Will Kuntz have done more to prevent everything going off the rails in the manner that it did. Not putting Ricky Puig on season-ending injury last year was a big thing that might have helped that situation. Right. So I don't know. I'm not as passionately anti Will Kuntz as him, but I do think that, like, when I look at the roster, that's kind of where I see the issue more so than the coaching. And I also think the Ricky Puig situation is just tough, man. I mean, you're supposed to have him, the centerpiece, the big star player, coming back before the start of the season. Then he ends up being out for another year. I thought the Joao Klauss idea was, I don't know, I was a little underwhelmed by that idea, but it seemed like it was working. But now he's hurt, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So like, when you're in a situation where the roster is in that state, I feel like it almost doesn't even matter who's coaching the team. That's sort of how I see it.
Rob, that's so interesting, because I was thinking about this today too, as I was looking at Seattle's lineup. Like, you look at some of those mainstays in the starting 11, Yeimar, Nuhu, the Roldans. I mean, I could keep going. Like, you had Joao Paulos back in the day. Like, you had those guys. They're always there. Like, they're always building a position of strength. So when you have a guy like Paul Rothrock come through the roster,
prime time Paulie.
Well, there's a way that you bet him into the like, you don't chuck like 90 minutes at him. It's like, hey, come save us because we need it. But it's more like, if you're good enough, you're going to break into this first team, and Schmetz is going to give you an opportunity. And I feel like the Galaxy after 2024, like, we've never, like, I kept saying to myself in CCC, like, man, I wish we were playing Toluca with a team of Mark Delgado, Gaston Brugman, Dejan Joveljic, and Ricky Puig. Like I just, like, we kind of cheated ourselves. Like, we I don't know, for what it is, like, the MLS salary cap didn't allow us to do that. But I think, like, there is a little bit of truth in that, in what Ari's saying. And, like, I know it's not going to excuse any of, like, Greg's coaching abilities, but still, like, there is a layer of truth to that. I don't think we can deny that.
Well, and I've always wondered why the Galaxy haven't had more success with youth development. That is a huge thing that has worked in Seattle's favor. Is they've really invested
Absolutely.
a ton of
Yep.
time, a ton of
Mhm.
ton of resources in getting the academy going, getting Tacoma Defiance going, and really using it as like a funnel from their academy to the first team. And that is one of the greatest MLS roster hacks to get around these restrictions that I could think of, is developing these guys and then actually having them be impact needle movers for the first team. They sold Obed Vargas to Atletico Madrid
Right.
for not as much money as people wanted for him, but that's still a big deal to have an academy kid who they got. He's from Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
They developed him. They sold him on to one of the bigger clubs in Europe. So and you know, there's so many guys that have come up and that are coming up right now. My favorite player to watch on the team this year has been Snyder Brunell. He's the next in line after Obed, and he came in with a lot of hype. The coaches were hyping him up, the organization was hyping him up, but you never really know. But he came in last year. He scored 2 MLS goals in his first like 3 or 4 games. Looked incredible.
Wasn't one of them against the Galaxy?
Yes, yeah, it was. It was that was in the 4-0 game. That was his first MLS goal. I think that was his like first MLS game, maybe. But anyway, this season, watching him play, I'm like, wow, this guy looks like he could even be better than Obed potentially. So,
Wow.
but then I look at the Galaxy and I'm like, Southern California, that should be a hotbed for them to be doing the exact same thing. And it feels like neither the Galaxy nor LAFC have done that. And I don't know what to make of that, because I know that there's the talent is there in that region, probably more than it is in the Northwest. And I know teams go outside the scope of their regions and locations now, but like still, I'm like, man, like the Galaxy, if they had more of those youth developed players like through their academy and through the pipeline, it would help the roster a lot, and they should be able to do that.
Yeah, I think you're going to start to see that a little bit more, Ari. I mean, we've spoken to Greg about how his class of 07 is, and they're just starting to break through. I mean, I think Harbor Miller is one of those
I like
players.
him. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I think he's talked about this class of 07 as being the kind of like the first class that is going to be able to give the first team, you know, some regular contributors. I mean, Ruben Ramos Jr., I believe, is from that same class as well. Pepe Magana, who has been rostered on the first team, but I don't think he's seen any minutes yet, or if he has, is a couple of minutes. You know, so you're starting to see that. You're hopefully they make that a priority going forward. I mean, because Greg has spoken about how he, you know, the fun part of coaching for him is developing the academy kids and developing those young players. So hopefully you're going to start to see that as heavily as Seattle does. I mean, I've always admired that about the Seattle model. And like I've said, that's one of the things that makes Seattle so consistent is like you said, that's a hack. You have
The hack.
You know, if you have 4 or 5 players in your starting 11 that were in your academy and you're paying them, you know, like, well, but you know, you're being creative with, you know, with cap space, then shit, there's no reason you can't work wonders with the rest of your roster. And we see that Seattle does that. Well, guys, I think it's time to break into this match. Ari, it's funny because you're more optimistic for the Galaxy than we are. But perhaps it's because I have some data in front of me that makes me so damn bummed out about what's about to come. The Galaxy hold an 11-15-15 record against the Sounders, and then a 4-7-8 record in Seattle. Last year, Seattle beat the Galaxy 2-0 in Los Angeles, and then there was a come from behind draw earned by the Galaxy 2-2 in September at Lumen Field. But get ready for this, Ananda. The Galaxy's last regular season win in Seattle was. Do you want to take a stab in the dark?
Got to be like 10 years ago. It's got to be a decade.
It is a decade. July 9th, 2016. The Galaxy beat Seattle 1-0 I don't even think it was called Lumen Field then. What was it called?
CenturyLink, probably.
Yeah, I think that's what it was called.
Deep cut.
Yeah, and since that victory, Ananda, get ready for this. 0-4-6 away in Seattle across all competitions. It has just been a bevy of good times at Lumen Field.
So you're saying it's a reverse trap game, right? That's what you're saying. That's
no, not at all. Not at all. Ari, what makes it so hard to play there for teams? I mean, you said that Seattle's starting to make it a fortress. They haven't lost there since PSG.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what changed, because it was a fortress like this for a really long time, and then there was like a couple year period there where their home form was not very good, and teams were actually coming into Lumen Field and taking results on a fairly regular basis, and it was disconcerting. But really, I think that playing in the Club World Cup actually genuinely benefited this team a lot, because they had to go out there and they played against Atletico Madrid and PSG and Botafogo in actual meaningful competitive games. So it wasn't like one of these friendlies where they're playing their B team, they're playing guys that they're just trying to get minutes. No, like PSG had their guys out there. Atletico Madrid had their guys out there, and Seattle actually got to compete against those teams and see how they stacked up. And it turned out they stacked up a lot better than everyone thought that they would. They lost all the games, but they almost beat Botafogo, or almost took a result against Botafogo. That was a super competitive game. They lost 3-1 to Atletico, but that game was actually 2-1 for about 30 seconds in the second half. Seattle was down 2-0, scored a goal against Atletico Madrid to make it 2-1, and then immediately gave up the third for a 3-1. But they were like relatively in that game. They were competing. They were holding their own. And then the PSG game, they lost 2-0, but was a lot more competitive of a game, I think, than everyone thought it would be. So once you've been out there against teams like that, I think it makes other games feel easier, because you're literally playing like a couple of the best teams in the world. Yeah. At that time, PSG was the best team in the world. So it seems like ever since then, their home form has just been lights out, because I think there's an element of it that's like, we've already played the best team here that we're going to have to play. We actually did kind of good. So I think they took a genuine boost from that.
Ari, quick technical question about Lumen. Are they doing the turf replacement thing that they've been doing for
the grass is down? Grass is down. Yeah,
okay.
The grass has been down for a few weeks, and it looks good. It's playing well. So that's
so they'll play on grass in a couple on Saturday.
Yes. Yeah. And it's pretty good.
Just like Atlanta. Yeah, just like Atlanta, Rob. Yep.
Oh wow, way cool. Well, guys, let's look at the standings if we have to. Going into this one, the Galaxy have played 13 games. They dropped to 11th place with their latest loss against SKC. They're on 16 points, 1.23 points per game, a 4-5-4 record, 19 goals for, 21 against, for a -2 goal differential. And then you have Seattle, who, after 11 matches, are in third on 24 points. 2.18 points per game, like Ari said. Supporter Shield pace at right now, 7-1-3 record. They do have 2 games in hand, 17 goals for, 8 against. A typical Schmetzer team, being very miserly with the goals giving away. +9 goal differential. And they just beat the former conference leader San Jose 3-2 at home.
Yep,
so not only do they have the mentals boosted of playing at home, but they have the mentals boosted of dispatching a team that was leading the pack and playing really, really well. 3-2. Ari, I know you said that San Diego was a tough draw for you, but San Diego was a Western Conference finalist last year. So that's a 1-1 draw there, but before that, there was a 2-1 win over Dallas, 4-1 win over St. Louis. All told, they're on a 9-game MLS unbeaten run, scoring 11 goals in the last 5 matches. But there is the small drawback that they haven't kept a clean sheet in 7 matches. During the 9-game stretch, Ari, what has gone right, and in your eyes, what can improve?
I think the defense has honestly been playing really well all year. That was a bit of an issue last year. I think that's what ended their season in the playoffs. Like, we have a lot of discourse out here about the strikers and the attackers and all that, but they ended up scoring 87 goals all comps last year, and it felt like the attack was pretty good, but they were leaking a lot of really bad goals, and they did that in the playoffs against Minnesota, and they got punished for it. They got eliminated. But I think you have a defense that's course corrected a lot. They've been playing really well. They gave up a couple of horrendous goals in the last 2 games that are just like these giveaways that are kind of mind-boggling. But all told, they've only conceded 9 goals all year. And then I think you're starting to see the offense figure it out. This road heavy stretch to start the season, it was a lot of grinding. It was a lot of 1-0s, kind of not that pretty types of games. You have to nick the goal in the second half and just smash and grab, get out of there. But since they've gotten through that stretch and they've started playing at home more, the offense is actually picking it up, and you're seeing like the Quakes game, they ended up getting 3 goals. They hung 4 on St. Louis a few weeks ago, like you said. And then they also got that Dallas win. So you had these 2 draws in there that were not great. And there was some questions and consternation of like, is the offense slumping? What's going on? But I think you have a defense that has gotten on track, combined with an offense that's actually starting to find its footing and produce. And they're taking the results from that right now.
Yeah, I mean, this looking at the form sheet in relation to the Galaxies is enviable. And it's funny because you're like, man, I'm upset about ties, and Galaxy fans are like, oh man, hopefully the team can get a tie. Yeah,
the San Diego tie I can live with. The one against KC, I'm like, guys.
Yeah, I feel you until I'm like, guys, really, you lost 3 points against SKC?
No, 6 points against SKC.
Oh man, you had to make it even worse.
Yeah.
You had to make it worse.
Yep.
Of course, guys, we know that Klauss won't feature in this one. Julian Ade won't feature in this one. But what do you got going in terms for Seattle, Ari? Who's going to be out for them?
Well, their U22, as you can see there, Nikola Petkovic, they lost him for the season with an ACL, which was unfortunate because he was actually looking pretty good. But the starting center back, Ymar, is out right now. And they've been kind of running this look with Alex Roldan, Christian's brother, playing center back. He's normally a right back, but they slid him to center back and are starting this super draft pick from last year, Kalani Kosarienzi, who is a really good, really dynamic, fun attacking right back. And that, playing Alex Roldan out of position with Kosarienzi at right back, that's been working, and that's given them cover for this Ymar injury. But I mean, you do have a couple of big injuries right now, no doubt about it. I mean, Ymar is one of the better center backs in the league when he's healthy. And then, like I said, the De La Vega thing, I think, is going to determine this team's ceiling in all likelihood. Like, if he comes back and looks like he did last year, especially during Leagues Cup, I think that'll take the offense to a whole different level. But they have Jordan Morris back. He got injured again at the beginning of the year after missing most of the year last year with a bunch of different injuries. But they're working him back in, and he's still kind of finding his footing, but he does love scoring goals against the Galaxy. So I'm hoping that that stays true and he can kind of get going a little more. And if that happens, they still have to figure out who's going to be the starting number 9. That's sort of the big debate right now. It's you got Jordan Morris in there, obviously, and then Danny Musovski had 18 goals last year. Yeah. So that, like, covering for Jordan Morris, so he's an option as well. And then they've been developing Osaze de Rosario, son of Dwayne De Rosario, he looked like an absolute god in preseason, and we all thought, oh my god, he's about to tear up the league. And then he's had kind of a slow start, but even he has a couple goals in the last 3 weeks.
He had a blinder against the Galaxy. I can't remember what game that was.
Yeah,
it
was
in
it was. Don't worry, he's about to play
Leagues Cup. Leagues Cup, where he bullied God, who's that really bad center back that you guys had? Yeah, he bullied Zonka.
Oh yeah. 100%. He looked like
I think he
prime
might have
Ronaldo.
ended. He might have ended Zonka's career.
I think so.
At least his MLS career for damn sure.
Yeah.
Ari, you were kind of talking about who's going to take the number 9 spot there for Seattle, but who in general? I mean, we pretty much know, but like who's in form right now? Who's hot? You referenced Musovski, 18 goals. He loves scoring against the Galaxy. I know that Ananda really likes Rothrock, and Galaxy fans have a certain chip on their shoulder with Rusnak, who called the Galaxy out for hitting defending, even though he was proven right.
Yeah, I think when you look at how they've started the season, Rothrock's a big one that you have to give credit. He has 4 goals, and they were pretty close to not being able to retain him in free agency. He almost signed with the Quakes, which that would have just been such a bummer. So
with the current Quakes,
I like imagine that team with him, but like he's come up really huge with the De La Vega injury. But then the other guy I would shout out is Jesus Ferreira. They traded for him last year, and I was over the moon about that trade. I was so excited because I watched him a lot on FC Dallas, and he's an awesome player. And I thought he had a good year last year, but it was kind of weird. He wasn't scoring that many goals, definitely not as many as he did with FC Dallas. And his role on this team has become much more of kind of like a point guard facilitator, setting guys up. His assist numbers have been really good, but he has not been scoring as much as he did earlier in his career. But the last few weeks, he has a couple goals, and he scored a goal in this last game against the Quakes. That was absolutely incredible. He made a 60-yard solo run, intercepted it near the top of his own penalty box, and just charged down the entire field and I guy in the box at the end of the run, and then just absolutely cashed it. So I got it. Yeah, I'm really hoping that that's a sign that his goal production is going to start to tick up, because I'm like, this guy scored 60 plus MLS goals for FC Dallas. I don't think he got traded to the Seattle Sounders and then forgot how to do that. I think that they have not really figured out how to maximize that part of his game. But with how good he is as a playmaker, and he's also an excellent two-way player. He plays defense, and he's one of the better high-pressing attackers that I've seen, which that was a big thing that Nico Ladero used to do for this team. And Jesus Ferreira has filled that part of it a lot better than I realized. I always thought on FC Dallas that he was just kind of more of a pure attacking player, but no, he is a very, very good two-way player. And he and Albert Rusnak are tied for the team lead with 7 goal contributions apiece. So they've figured out how to get them playing together as well. And when you have Rusnak and Ferreira running this kind of dual number 10 thing, he's not really a traditional winger. He's more of a pocket player, and it functions more as dual 10s than Rusnak as like the lone 10 and Ferreira out wide. But I'm excited now that Ferreira is starting to score a little bit, and Rusnak, he's about as consistent as he comes. He's going to get you 10 and 10 every year. I think that there's a lot of potential for that to be a productive duo. But I loved how Ferreira has been playing this year. His playmaking has been, I mean, excellent.
Ananda, take us through the Galaxy team that needs to face all that.
Well, these are our predicted lineups, and they're pretty similar, Rob, but I'll just shout it out for the listeners that are on audio. So Rob has JT Marcinkowski at goal, back four of Nelson, Yoshida, Glesnes, Yamane, midfield trio of Hawk, Winder, and Sanabria, front three of Harbor, Paintsel, and Peck. Mine is pretty much exactly the same, except for I have Eric Tommy on the left, except for Harbor. And actually, now hearing that Yamar is out on that sort of our left-hand side, that makes me want to play Eric Tommy that much more, Rob. And especially if you've got to deal with, you're going to have to deal with the new right back, the young right back that Ari was talking about, as well as Jesus Ferreira coming down that wing. Eric Tommy will give you work rate on top of being technically secure on the ball. You're going to need technical security against Seattle, who are always dual monsters, and they're always getting stuck in and winning challenges in midfield, etc., getting up that pitch. So That solidifies my decision even more to play Eric Tommy at left wing.
Is Eric Tommy a pure winger?
He's not. He plays as an inside forward, but he's been playing at left wing because we have no striker. Well, Nascimento just got on the bench.
He's not fit for the full 90.
He's not fully fit. Yeah, he's not fully fit yet. So,
how has the Justin Hack signing been working? I really wanted Seattle to go get. I think everyone, when they were looking at free agency, that was one of the names that everyone wanted. But I thought that was a great move, honestly. And it's kind of cool how he can play CB and in the midfield.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been Greg's challenge, is to kind of nail him down in a spot. And since he hasn't been able to field a consistent 11, he hasn't been able to kind of field his consistent 11 and then figure out, all right, Justin Hack, this is you now, like, own this spot. Like, this is now your best position because everybody else is in their natural best position, you know? So he's been playing center back. He's been playing midfield. We've seen him play both in one game before. A couple of weeks back, Greg said, I definitely see him as a center back. He is a center back. And then 2 games later played him in the midfield.
That's how it always goes in MLS. You think you have a plan for a guy, and then 27 dudes get injured, and you're like, all right, well, you're playing there now. But
he's a
cool player.
He's been hit or miss, individually. I think that the problem is the pieces around him haven't been good for his development. He's still betting into this team. You see the individual quality, you see the dueling capacity. When he has the confidence, you see that he has a really good forward pass on him, like a really direct ball into the feet of his midfielders and his strikers, especially in the final third. We need to see that more, but I just think the confidence isn't there yet. He's still trying to find his footing. And what's his best position? Like, what's his role in the team? I think he and Greg are still trying to figure out what that is. But individually, you see his quality. He's starting to pick up his performances slowly.
I was pretty sold, honestly. I was buying the whole idea of, you needed upgrades at CB. So Jacob Glesnes, that's about as big of an upgrade as you can get. And then to also get Justin Hack, I was like, man, that is the definition of addressing needs. But I do remember saying at the time too, like, sometimes in those situations, when you're like, okay, we have a hole here, so we're going to sign this guy, and that plugs that hole, and that will solve that problem. It honestly does not usually end up working out like that. You need to be 3 or 4 deep, otherwise, because it's like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, what if Justin Hack has to miss a game? What if Jacob Glesnes has to miss a game? Like, things start to look dicey immediately again. So,
and that's what happened. That's what happened in the beginning of the season, especially with CCC, with the rotation and everything. And that's exactly what happened. Ari, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, well, guys, we're gonna start winding this one down. So it's time for receipts. It is time for what's most important here, and that is the predictions. But before we get there, we will ask Ari the most important question before the prediction question, which is fill in the blank. But chat, start dropping in your predictions. Let us know what you think this one is going to play out as. Let us know if you think Seattle is going to get the dub, if it's going to be the predictable match and play out how at least Anand and I think it's going to play out, or if the Galaxy is going to bring the surprise. Who knows? Let us know what you think in chat. Let us know if you think the Galaxy can get a win in this one. But before we get there with Ari, the question for you is, and of course this is fill in the blank here, for Seattle to win this match, they have to ...
I mean, I think just keep a clean sheet and you're probably good. I don't, they basically never get shut out at home. I would be pretty surprised if that happens, especially because the Galaxy have been known to struggle defensively. So if you can,
that was a nice diplomatic way to say that.
If you can just keep a clean sheet and play the same level of offense that you've been playing over the last few weeks, even in these draws, the Sporting KC draw and the San Diego draw, all like the underlying attacking numbers and the expected goals and the shot totals and shots on target, all that was awesome. So you just got to play like that, finish a couple of those off, and then keep a clean sheet, and you should be good.
Well, Ananda, I have the same question for you, but in reverse. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to.
Chat, write this down because that means he gets to go first in predictions. Just remember this. Remember this moment. Okay. Anyways, back to our programming.
Salty.
No, look, this is a really simple one for me, and this is back off the performance that the stinker, basically the non-performance against SKC, which is for the Galaxy to win, they need to earn the right to be able to win. It's that simple. It's like, you're going to get a matchup against Seattle, but the first half of the battle, Papa, is making sure that you are present, you are aggressive, you come in with intent. You don't come in there with inferiority complexes. You don't come in there not leaving your hotel room, like Greg said. You've got to earn the right to play, and you've got to earn the right to win. And that's half the battle against the Brian Schmetzer team. So if that doesn't happen, the Galaxy have absolutely no chance in this game. But if the Galaxy are up for it, their tails are up, they get it stuck in challenges, they commit more than 6 fouls in this game while, not getting a red card stupidly, because, a couple of our players tend to do that sometimes. They will have a decent chance in this game. They might get outclassed and outplayed, but that's football. And sometimes, a team is just better than, and we know Seattle on paper is a better team. The win probabilities that I'm going to show in a little bit will say that. But first, they need to earn the right to win this game, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Mine's simple. For the Galaxy to win this game, they have to forget the last match against SKC. Just crumple it up, throw it away, just file it in. Let's learn what we can from it, but then the rest of it, just throw it away.
Yeah.
And let's go out and even if you are the underdog, just play for that shirt, man. Like, play for the pride at the very least. And honestly, like, play for your job, because some of these players won't be here after the World Cup break on evidence, So anyway, Ananda, I know that you and Dr. Raquinho went apple picking because you guys were looking to make a premium apple cider here pretty soon. And you guys also worked on win probabilities. So go ahead and share, please.
Yeah, I went up to the Pacific Northwest to go get those apples. So there you go. So win probabilities here: Seattle overwhelming favorites, 56.7%. Galaxy with absolutely no shot in hell, 20.7%. Some historical data here. So Rothrock has scored in 36% of MLS games this season for the Sounders. So again, he is the danger man, one of, if not the main danger man for the Galaxy. Both teams have scored in the LA Galaxy's last 6 games, so a shutout is probably not in the cards here. 0-0 is definitely not in the cards. There have been 3 or more goals scored in total in each of the LA Galaxy's last 6 away games. So expect the Galaxy to ship a few or score a few. I don't know. How do you want to look at that, Galaxy fan?
Yeah, I think we know, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and take it to the place where it really matters. Ananda, you know who goes first. Chat.
That's right.
What do you have for predictions?
E Super said, well, first keep it under 5, Ari, when you make yours. And Anthony says 4-1 Sounders. Nightmare says Seattle U7 wheelchair team for LA Galaxy 0. All right. Yeah, I think and then I think I'm gonna take the non-responses as probably a Galaxy L. So there you go.
Yeah,
I think everyone's just dreading this game.
There's not a lot of enthusiasm. Well, Joe 13 Goal says 3-2 Galaxy.
Oh, the reverse juju. The reverse trap game is in the cards. Wow, I just don't see the Galaxy scoring 3 against the Seattle defense. But
neither do I. Pablo, Big Pablo, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. 8-0.
Does he mean Josh Saunders 8?
Yeah, Josh Saunders. I would take that. I'll take that. Good on Josh Saunders. 8-0 Sounders. Man, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, they shipped 7 to New York Red Bulls last year.
I know.
So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, I know that you were jesting on the score, but I don't think it's that far-fetched. All right, Ari, since you were our guest, you get to decide if you want to go first or you want to go last.
I'll just lay mine down because I'm not a huge prediction guy, you know, because I just feel like MLS, as much as any league, it's so hard to predict. Like, you know, if I was predicting the Sporting KC game a couple weeks ago, I would have been like, all right, this really should be a multi-goal Seattle victory. And of course, they go out there and they draw the game. So yeah, with the evergreen caveat that I'm saying this, and it could very easily end up being a 1-1, which is like the score of the couple draws they've taken the last couple weeks. But I think playing at home right now, outside of the San Diego game, this team has looked pretty unstoppable at times at home. And I think teams with any sort of defensive vulnerabilities or issues, it's just an inherently difficult task to come into Lumen and get a result. So when I'm looking at this, I'm feeling a 2-0, 3-1, something like that for Seattle. That is what they should do. That is what they should expect to do in a game like this. So, you know, I'll be interested to see if they can actually do it though, because I will say, like, we call it expected goals merchanting on my show when you're just pummeling the other team with shots and chances and you just can't finish any of them. There's been a lot of that going on the last couple weeks. They finally got a couple of them to go in the second half of the San Jose game. But like when you're merchanting like that, you're susceptible to drawing against teams that you should beat. So it could happen, but I don't think
from your lips to the Lord's ears there. All right. Ananda, since I went first last time, I guess that's you.
Remember, chat. Remember what I said last time. He's on the screen. I'm not changing the screen. No, actually, you know what? No. It's okay. It's okay. I will go. I will be a good friend. I will be a good co-host, and I will go because I actually want to build off of something that Ari said, which I've been thinking about, or I thought about in this prediction, which is, I think overall Seattle's just a better team. And even if the Galaxy come in with a performance, which I think they will, like, I think they'll have their tails up. I think they're going to be hurt about what happened in SKC. And I think the players will take it upon themselves to sort of right the wrongs. But I just think
you would hope
at the end, like, quality trumps. And I think the Seattle team just has quality all over the pitch, like the entire team. And they've been together for a while. Their system, they're so well drilled. And it just takes one little mistake, one slip, one turn of the head, a drop in 10% of concentration to give up a goal. And so I think it'll be 2-1. However, if JT comes up huge with another 8 save performance and he has a negative, like, you know, or a positive 2 goal or 2.5 goal prevention again, if JT Marcinkowski plays the blinder, this could be a 1-1 game. And I agree with Ari in that it takes sort of that heroic goalkeeper performance to keep the scoreline down. So that is a possibility, but my head pick is 2-1 loss.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too out of the realm of possibility right there. 3-1, 2-1. Either way, I think it's a Galaxy loss. I think, like you said, Ananda, Seattle just has too much quality. And Ari, to your point, Lumen is a fortress. They don't do well there. And the fact that they haven't lost there since bloody PSG, and the fact that they're kind of like living on that, like, man, we played PSG. Like, do you think we're really scared of little old Galaxy who hasn't won here in a decade? Nah, I don't think they are. So yeah, I think that's easily a Seattle win. 2-1, 3-1. Hopefully I'm wrong. I always say that. Like, hopefully
this is MLS. Yeah,
it is MLS. You never know. I think the thing I'm most excited to watch in this game is the Nuhu Gabriel Peck matchup. That's one of my favorite matchups in the league. Nuhu hates Gabriel Peck. He hates all attackers, but like, he has a special loathing for that guy. It's like the most outwardly obvious disdain that I've ever seen. And their matchups in those games when they played last year were great entertainment. Like, I knew who he likes to talk shit sometimes, and he likes to kind of try and get in the opposing attackers' heads. But like the stuff he was doing against Gabriel Peck last year, where my favorite sequence was they had a 1v1 out wide, just the two of them totally isolated, and knew who's giving him the point He's basically saying, I already know what you're going to do. I know where you're going to go. You're going to go right there, and it's not going to work. And then Gabriel Peck, as a response to that, tries to go the other direction and fire a shot from like 35 yards out that wasn't particularly close. And I was just like, yeah, Nuhu, get in his head. Love it.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I like that one though, because they bring out the best in each other, which I like. That's always the best thing, if like the competitors bring out the best in each other. So yeah, that'll be a fun one to watch for sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully for chat, this one was a fun one to watch, because we had a fun time with you, Ari. I always say, you're invited back anytime. I mean, that holds true for you, man. Like, you're invited back anytime. Hit us up when you just want to come talk ball. If you're ever in LA, you know where the homies are at that they can take you to get the good tacos. So man, hopefully we do have the occasion to meet up in real life. But until then, man, thank you again for stopping by. It was like last time, a really good conversation, and thank you for putting us up on game with Seattle and what's going on there.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you guys. We'll do it again soon. I gotta get you guys on our show at some point, and then I'll let you know if next time I'm in LA for sure. I'm bummed because they're playing LAFC away in a couple weeks, and I can't go. I got to go to a wedding, so it's like I would be there in a couple weeks though. But I'll let you guys know for sure. We'll talk soon.
Cool, man.
All right, man.
So much for coming on.
Yeah, well, we'll see you soon, man. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Later, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, y'all. That was Ari Liljenwalll, doing his thing, telling us what's going on there in Seattle. We do appreciate him stopping by.
Yeah, one of the best.
All the boys from Sounder at Heart. Just we've had the good fortune to hook up with them and work with them for the past couple of years now, doing different things, and man, just quality cats for sure. Thank you guys for sticking around and catching that interview with Ari and that preview for the Galaxy's match against Seattle. To wrap it up here, guys, I know we've told you about Ms. Aitana Bonmati being here in the United States. Her camp is just a little over a month away. The first one kicks off on 6/22 in San Diego. But for the one in Los Angeles, you guys can go ahead and hook up and hang out with our good friend and co-host Anandita Kirana, who will be volunteering on the operations staff. And now we have a venue, SoCal Blue Soccer Fields in San Juan Capistrano. So go ahead and use our code Lacuna26 if you want to sign the kids up. Of course, 6 to 16 is the age group for this right here. For more info, go ahead and hit up usaitanaBonmatiCamp.com. And I think that pretty much brings us to the end. Yeah, Nanda?
Yes, sir. Let's let the folk know what we got up next on tap.
Órale, vámonos. Next on this humble little podcast, the Galaxy will travel to Seattle to face off with the Sounders on Saturday, May 16th, what we've been talking about for the second half of the show here, which means on Monday, May 18th, we'll be bringing you a match reaction win, lose, or draw from the Galaxy's contest versus Seattle. Hopefully we were wrong, and hopefully we were talking about a win. But if that's not the case, we'll be back here with you for another edition of Sad Full Hours, even sadder full hours. Then on Thursday, May 21st, we'll bring you a match preview ahead of the Galaxy's last match and last home match before the World Cup break against the Houston Dynamo for their game happening on May 23rd. Ananda, anything else to add before we get on out of here?
Just a big thank you all around. Thank you to chat. Thank you to Ari for joining us. He's always good, man. One of the best publications out there, both nationally, and does a really, really good job covering his market. He's just one of those examples that, like, local coverage is, for me, the best coverage. You get really, really in depth. You get your boots on the ground. So yeah, if you guys like local coverage, hopefully that we try to bring on as much of that flavor on this show as possible to really get in depth with some of these opponents that we're facing, especially a story team like Seattle. So again, just a big thanks to everyone all around. And this is to hopefully a much better performance. I think the fans deserve a much better performance, and I hope Galaxy fans, you're not wasting your 2 hours of your Saturday evenings at 6:15. Unfortunately, this weekend we probably won't be doing an instant reaction. So like Rob said, we will catch you guys on Monday for the full reaction. And yeah, we will see you guys then. Thank you so much again for listening.
Guys, thank you. Just like Ananda said, it is always lovely to be here with you guys on Monday and Thursday. And unfortunately, yeah, we won't be around for the post-match instant reaction here on Saturday, but we'll be back with you on Monday. And until we're back with you on Monday, we're gonna surely miss you for sure. We do appreciate you every single time you hang out with us. It is a blessing to us for sure. For two knuckleheads who just wanted to spare their wives from having to listen to them, we get to hang out with you guys now. Thank you guys for being here, and much love. Y fuerza, you know, the what is that Backstreet Boy lyric? You're my sunshine after the rain, or is that 98 Degrees? I don't know. I got my boy bands mixed up, but yeah, man, come on.
Yeah, but any of that, you know, whether you know you're big on 90s boy band pop or 90s hip hop, either way, subscribe to our YouTube, and because we are on the road to 900 subs, and hit the like buttons, guys. Again, we're about to close the door, so on your way out, go ahead and hit those likes and hit that sub.
Yeah, for sure.
Forever. And yeah,
for sure. Pablo Ramos is One Direction.
I'd be.
Yeah, Backstreet is back. All right, for damn sure. If anybody's got the hookup on Backstreet Boy tickets there in Vegas, you know where to throw them at your boy for sure. Anyway, guys, we do love you, and we'll catch you next time. Yes, and Andita?
Nothing. I just said holla, and only thing left to say.
Jesus.
Queremos chat. See you next time.